Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I am going to go ahead and do our math lesson for today. I had to move a bunch of stuff out of the classroom and into my apartment so that I didn't have to keep going back and forth from school and home. So things might be a little bit tricky today, but I'm going to do my best to keep it the way that it's always been. So hopefully you guys can see I have some lights up here for Easter. I brought our projector home. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Okay, so for our math lesson today, we're actually on lesson 7.5. So if you have your IJ or you don't have your IJ out, go ahead and get your IJ really quickly. We're gonna open it up to the next blank page. We are going to write today's date, which if it's Tuesday is gonna be April 7th. So 4-7-2020. That's actually not bad. You should be able to see that just okay. And we're skipping around a little bit. We're trying to go through chapter 7 pretty quickly, so we're actually on lesson 7.5 today. So up in the corner, just to remind me, I'm going to put math 7.5. Just like that, 7.5. Let me see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. Not really. That's okay. Zooming is going to be a little bit hard. Okay, so math 7.5 and today's date is 4-7-2020. So keeping with our goal of learning about less and more and which numbers are less and more, today we're going to talk about which numbers are exactly 10 less and which numbers are exactly 10 more. So first of all, I want to remind us about the two place values that we know. So we know about the tens place and we know about the ones place. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to write, I have to think of a number that I want to write. I think I'm going to write the number 82. Okay? I'm going to write down the number 82 nice and big in my notebook. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a box around that number. I'm going to separate my 8 and my 2 and 82. So the 8 and 82 represents a number and the 2 and 82 represents a number. My 8 is my tens place, T-E-N-S. Does anyone remember what the other place is called? We have tens and ones. Tens and ones. So in a two-digit number, your first number is your tens place. Your second number is your ones place. Tens and ones. So when we're talking about numbers that are 10 less or 10 more, we're going to be focusing a lot on that tens place today. So pay close attention to that tens place. So the first thing I'm going to have us write down right underneath the 8 and the 2 and our tens and our ones to find out how much is 10 more change the tens place plus 1. And I'll show you what that means in a second. Pause the video if you need to, copy that down. To find out how much is 10 more, change the tens place plus 1. Okay, and here's an example of that. So if I'm taking the number 82, which number is in my tens place? The 8. I'm going to change my tens place plus 1. What's 1 more than 8? 9. So I'm going to change my 82 into 92. Okay? 92 is 10 more than 82. Okay? So in order to find out which number is 10 more than a number you already know, you're going to change that number that's in the tens place. You're going to add one more to it. So you're going to look at the number. You're going to look which one's in the tens place, the 8 or the 2, the 8. I'm going to add one more onto that, make it a 9. I'm going to change my 82 to a 92. And that's how I know 92 is 10 more than 82. Okay, we'll do some practice so you guys can kind of see what that looks like. Again, pause the video if you need to. I'm running out of a little bit of space, so I'm going to go on to the next page in my IJ. Feel free to do the same thing if you're kind of running out of space. Okay. Let's see if we can do this like this. Still trying to figure it out, guys. Thank you for being patient. Okay. So, second thing I'm going to have you write down is to find out how many is 10 less. Let's see, I want to use the same wording that I did on my last one. How much is 10 less? Change the tens place. Minus 1. Okay, pause if you need to. To find out how many is 10 less than a number, change the tens place minus 1. So again, if I have the number 82, I know my 8 is in my tens place. So in order to find 10 less than 82, I'm going to take that number in the tens place. I'm going to subtract 1. So what's 1 less than 8? Count backwards, 8, 7. Keep my 2 the same. 72 is 10 less than 82. Again, pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go back over this information really quickly because I know I just gave you a bunch of new information. So again, the goal of today is to look at a number. I'm going to give you a 2-digit number, and you should be able to tell me how much is 10 more than that number and how much is 10 less than that number. So you should be able to tell me if I give you any number, okay, which number is, which number is in the tens place. If I make that number 1 greater or 1 bigger, that's going to give me 10 more. If I take that number in the tens place and I make it 1 less or 1 smaller, then I'm going to get 10 less. Okay, so for example, if I bring an 8 up to a 9, I'm going to get 10 more. 92 is 10 more than 82. If I take that same 8 from my tens place and make it smaller by 1, 8 to 7, I turn my 82 into a 72, I get 10 less. Now, really important thing, first of all, make sure that you're changing the number that's in the tens place. If I changed my 2 to a 1, 82 to 81, 81 is not 10 less than 82. So make sure that you're changing the number that's in the tens place. Also super important, please make sure that you're only changing the number in the tens place. You'll notice that 92, 82, and 72 all keep the 2 in the ones place exactly the same, which is how you should do it. So when we're figuring out what number is 10 more or 10 less, the digit in the ones place is always going to be the same. The only thing that changes is the number in the tens place. Only the number in the tens place. If you want 10 more, then that tens place digit goes up by 1. If you want 10 less, then that tens place digit goes down by 1. That still might be a little bit confusing, and that's okay. We're going to do some practice. Go ahead and grab your practice book, your green practice book. We're going to be working on page 133. I'll go ahead and write that down so you guys can see what that looks like. 133. Again, please don't tear it out of your book. I'm going to show it torn out of my book because it's easier for me to show you, but you guys should keep it inside your book, okay? So here we go. Green Go Math book, page 133, looks just like this. Pause the video if you need to go grab it. Okay, so right here we have 3 columns, and in the middle it has some 2-digit numbers, and over here it's asking for what is 10 less than that number, and over here it's asking for what is 10 more than that number. Okay, then we have some more kind of tricky stuff down here, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. So our first number, I'm going to see if I can, it's kind of hard to zoom in a little bit. Oh, actually that worked really well. Awesome. Okay, our first number is 48. So it's 2-digit number 48. Now there's 2 digits in 48, a 4 and an 8. Which one is in the tens place? Think about it for a second. Which one is in the tens place? The 4 or the 8? Remember, it's going to be the number that comes first. So the number that comes first is 4. That's going to be my number in the tens place. And I'm even going to underline it so that I remember that that's the number I'm changing. My 8 always stays the same. I can even write 8 and 8 because I know they're going to end in 8s. It's this 4 that's going to change. Now if I want 10, let's start with 10 less. If I want 10 less than 48, then I have to take that 4 and bring it down by 1. Subtract 1, count down from 1, however you want to say or do it. So I'm going to take that 4. I want 1 less than 4, which is 3. 38. 38 is 10 less than 48. Okay, and if I bring that over to my 10 more side, I'm leaving my 8 alone. I know it ends in an 8. I'm going to take that 4 and I want it 1 higher, 1 greater. So what is 1 greater than 4? 5. Okay, so it becomes a 58. 10 less than 48 is 38. 10 more than 48 is 58. That kind of makes sense. We're going to keep going for a few more. Okay. 25. Now again, that's a 2-digit number, and we want the number that's in the tens place, which is the digit that comes first, or my 2. I'm going to underline my 2. That's the only number that's going to be changing is that 2. All one of our 3 numbers all throughout this row is going to end in a 5. I can even write my 5s right now. 5, 5. Okay, the only number that's going to be changing is that 2. If I want 10 less, then that 2 has to go down. So 2, 1. My new number is 15. So 10 less than 25 is 15. 10 more than 25, I'm going to take that same 2. I'm going to go 1 higher this time. So 2, 3. And now I get 35. So 10 less is 15, 10 more is 35. Okay, our next number is 73. I'm only changing the tens place. That's the only thing that's changing. So I'm going to underline my 7. That's the only thing that's going to change. I know that these are all going to end in 3. Some of you guys might have already noticed a pattern. 38, 48, 58, 15, 25, 35. Let's see if we can use that same pattern to figure this one out. So if I have 73, okay, the only thing that's going to change is my 7. My 3's stay the same. Now I'm going to bring my tens place down by 1 to figure out 10 less. So 1 less than 7 is 6. 1 more than 7 is 8. 63, 73, 83. Okay, I bet you can probably guess for this next one. You might even be able to do this whole row on your own, but I'll do it with you just in case. Which one's going to change, the 8 or the 9? The 8. 8's going to change. 9's going to stay the same. If I want 10 less, that means this 8 has to go down. I'm going to make it a 7. If I want 10 more, that means the 8's got to go up. 8, 9, 79, 89, 99. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense because we're about to make it one step trickier. Okay, so now they only give us the number that's 10 less. They don't give us the number in the middle. Well, if this is my 10 less, then that means that I need 10 more to figure out this one, right? 79, 89, 63, 73. So I need 10 more to figure out this one. And then I need to find out 10 more again to figure out this one. What makes this extra tricky is this is only a one-digit number. How am I supposed to mess around with the tens place if there is no tens place? So I'm going to show you guys a secret. Every time that you see a one-digit number, there's an invisible 0 in front of it. Kind of like on a clock where you'd see like 608, right? So there's an invisible 0. So there's a 0 right here for our tens place. Okay, that's the number that's going to be changing. We still have an 8. We still have an 8. Okay, and I want to figure out 10 more than 8. Okay, so I'm going to use that 0. I'm going to bring it up by 1. 0 plus 1, we should all know this. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay? 8, 18, 28. Two tricky things with that one. The invisible 0 and then having to figure out 10 more 2 times in a row. Alright, this one only gives us 10 more, which means that we need to figure out 10 less to find this one, and 10 less again to find this one. Almost like every time we move this way, we're trying to find 10 less. And every time we move this way, trying to find 10 more, if that makes sense. Okay, so we start with 47. We need 10 less than 47. All right, well, I'm going to look at 47. I know that my 4 is my tens place, so that's the only number that's going to change. I can put a 7 and a 7 right now. 7's going to stay the same. It's that tens digit that's going to be different. So I need to go 1 less and then 1 less again. So if I take that 4 and I bring it down by 1 to find 10 less, 4 minus 1 is 3. Minus 1 again is, what's 1 less than 3? 2. 27, 37, 47. These ones were tricky. If these last two were a little bit confusing, that's okay. What I really care about is that these top ones we understand. How to figure out, okay, my tens place goes down by 1. I know that's 10 less. Okay, my tens place goes up by 1. I know that's 10 more. That's what I care about right now. This stuff was just kind of tricky to get you to play with the numbers a little bit. But this stuff you're going to need to really understand. Can you find the tens place? You know that it's the number that comes first. Can you tell me what 10 less is by bringing that 10 digit down? Can you tell me what 10 more is by bringing that 10 digit up? Alright, last one I'm going to do with you guys down here. Problem solving. Okay, choose a way to solve, draw, or write to show your work. So, Our practice problem says Jim has 16 pennies. Doug has 10 fewer, which is another word for less, pennies than Jim. How many pennies does Doug have? Okay, so we know that Jim has 16, okay? And Doug, okay, he has 10 less than 16. So I have to figure out what 10 less than 16 is. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my 10-digit number, or the number that's in the tens place. Okay, and I need to make that 1 smaller. What's 1 smaller than 1? If we take away 1 from 1, we get 0. And our 6 stays the same. Now we know when we have a 0 in the tens place, that's an invisible 0. So 10 less than 16 is just going to be 6. 6 pennies. So feel free to re-watch this video if it was a little bit confusing for you. But also, just so I know you guys are getting some extra practice, I want you guys to flip over to page 134. Again, you're not ripping this out of your book. Keep it in your book. Page 134, 134. It says P134. That's your guys' homework. Okay? In case you were not a part of our Zoom meeting, I did not have any extra MobyMax assigned this week. I did not assign any extra MobyMax because I heard from quite a few students that they needed some extra time to either get onto Wi-Fi, or they only were able to finish a couple of lessons. So I think in the future I'm not going to assign quite as much, although that is about as much as we would normally do in a week. So I'm thinking that I'm only going to do maybe 2 or 3 lessons as opposed to the 6 or 7 that we did this last time. But I'm going to give you another week to get set up on that. I will be grading MobyMax for completion. I will be grading your workbook pages for completion. So please make sure that you're doing the homework that's assigned with each video and that you're completing all of your MobyMax. If you're still having a hard time getting on, or you can't get logged in, or whatever the situation is, email me, samcbride@bantasd.org. Anytime that you have a question with MobyMax, that you have a question with this, that can't wait until Friday, because I will be checking in with you on Friday for Zoom as well, please make sure that you let me know, and that way I can help you. Just a quick reminder, this Friday is officially the beginning of our spring break. So next week there will be no videos. Next week there will be no new MobyMax. I will, however, still be hosting Zoom meetings both at 8 a.m. and at 6 p.m. this Friday. I think what I'm going to do this week is a spring directed draw with everybody. So we'll check in with everybody. We'll see if anybody has any questions, and then we'll set up some kind of directed draw. But I'll keep that kind of a secret for now. We'll see what that turns into. All right, you guys have a good day, and I'll check in with you tomorrow. Bye.